Yep. Okay, you ready? Let's have some fun. Good evening, it being 7:30 on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. Let's begin our town council meeting. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's also take a moment of silence to think of the people that are serving in our military, both at home and abroad, and their families. Thank you. Clerk Semino, could you please have a roll call to begin the meeting?
Councilor Barrica? Here. Councilor Here. Councilor Here. Councilor Mayfield? Here. Councilor Warren?
Here.
Councilor Quickie? Here.
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 There he is. Remote. Okay. Well, it looks like we have some announcements tonight. We are going to recognize Braintree youth hockey teams. This is the funnest part of being a counselor, is we get to congratulate young men and women on their achievements. And so we would start with the Braintree 12U Blue Team, B Blue Team coaches Pat O'Sullivan, Adam Parker, and Mike Scully. Could you come forward, please?
Thank you for having us here tonight. Obviously a great group of kids here, hardworking, talented athletes. Says a lot about the Braintree Youth Hockey Program having two state champions, same division, same age group. So really great group of kids, awesome group of parents over there, a lot of support, early mornings at the hockey rink. There you are, buddy. But yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Coach, you guys, you put up with it too, so you want to say anything?
I told my son I wouldn't give much of a speech tonight to not embarrass him, so I'm just going to say thank you to the parents, thanks for the kids. It was a really fun season. Love coaching you guys, super athletic group, so yeah, thanks for having us here too.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. At the beginning of the year, we couldn't figure out who was going to be the head coach of this team because no one wanted to step up and do it. And then, although Adam did step up to do it, it was great to see Pat actually do it. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to invite up the coaches for the U12A team, Nick Bickerton, and the assistants, John O'Toole, Mike Larkin, and Teddy Doolin.
Thank you very much for having us. It was a great season, a lot of great hockey players. As one of the high school hockey coaches, I'm very excited for this group to come up in a few years. Having both teams do it together was really special. Thank you.
Yes, I'll second that. I'm very proud of this group, and as much as I'd like to say it was all coaching, it was really all these kids. They did unbelievable. They were really fun to coach, and I'm really happy for all of them for having this accomplishment. Very proud of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Would any of the councilors like to make any remarks? Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. President. As an old hockey player myself, I'm really, really proud to see the tradition continuing in Braintree. Braintree Youth Hockey, great organization, one of the best in the state, I know. I think it might be one of the largest youth hockey programs in the state, and that says a lot about the youth of Braintree. Now, these guys, Pee-wees, squirts? Pee-wees, that's what I thought, Pee-wees, big kids. I really appreciate. It's a lot of fun to travel. You're building your team together, and you're going to find that these are lessons that you're going to learn that's going to carry you through life. When you're going to be your mom and pop's age, you're going to look back on this, and you're going to say, how lucky I was to be able to play at a highly competitive level. You should be very proud of yourself. And remember, the sky is the limit. Just keep going. Thank you. Very good. Great job, Coach.
Anyone? That's it? Okay. All right, I've got 2 stacks of citations to give out to a lot of young men out there, and I don't know which team's which. So we're gonna hand these out. We're gonna give the opportunity to the counselors to shake your hands as we hand them out. Except Counselor Ringus has conjunctivitis, and he's gonna stay right here. So we're gonna form up in front of the dais as is our wont, and we will hand these out, and then I'll hand out the second. And then there'll be a chance to photograph.
But without my direction, they're falling apart already. I mean, I've done this a lot of years. Where is he going? He's going the wrong side.
Peter, can you take this mic?
Need Charlie Ryan back. All right, Nicholas Bickerton. Owen Kippenham. My neighbor, Ryan Newell. Edwin Doolin. Congratulations. Mason Franzosa. Cameron Nauman. Brendan Chisholm. Gavin Bennett. Cousin Rudd. Eamon O'Toole. Murphy Larkin. Jordan Theodore. Edward Kendrick. Charlie Mwan. Ryan Fennell. Jackson Rogers. And these are for the head and the assistant coaches. Here you go, guys. Thank you. All right, next group, Zach Bossy. James Burrows Jr. Patrick Campbell. James Curtin. Jack Curtin, or Cushing. Sorry about that. Landon Dupas. Milan Zidzik. Colton Joyce. Theo King. Ryan Matheny. Flynn O'Riordan.
Thank you.
Patty O'Sullivan. Caleb Parker. Austin Rogers. Ted Scully. Cam Thompson. And for the coaches, Coach Pat O'Sullivan and Adam Parker. Thank you. Great job. Okay, we'll do a 5-minute recess and you can do photos and then we can get you out of here.
Oh.
that? Yes, everybody. Feel for me, everyone. But I'm here.
I'm already tired. And we only got through the first thing on the agenda.
But I'm better. I'm going to take you through a tutorial on how we do that. Always start from that.
Ah, fuck it. Excuse me.
No.
Oh,
But,
boy.
we have to continue them, yeah.
Okay, we have about, hello? All right, can we get back to work here, please? Mike, is my mic? It isn't working. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, we have about 30 pages of agenda to get through, so could I ask the folks that are leaving to please take their conversations outside? All right, thank you. Thank you. Are there any other announcements that the councilors wish to make? You all set? Do you have an announcement?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Councilor Maglio.
Thank you so much. The East Braintree Community Action Coalition is meeting on Thursday, April 16th at the Braintree Yacht Club, and everyone is always welcome. And we meet on the third Thursday of the month. And this month there's going to be a Red Cross training with our fire chief, Braintree Fire Chief. And so anyone who's interested in learning more about Red Cross or getting their certification, please join us on the 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other announcements by any counselors? Thank you. Moving to old business, 01426, Council President, appointment, interim clerk, town clerk, or any other action relative to thereto. I'll now refer to Councilor Flaherty, Chair of the Committee on Personnel Issues, for a recommendation on item 1426.
Thank you. The Committee on Personnel Issues met on March 31st and voted for a unanimous favorable recommendation to the full council on item 01426. The town clerk is due to retire on May 1st and is currently out of the office for personal reasons. The Committee on Personnel Issues recommends the salary for the interim town clerk be established at M21E, which is the current town clerk salary.
Thank you. There was an explanation in the document packet for the counselors, questions that were raised by the personnel issue, and the answers have been made available to all members. Would any counselor wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, is there a motion for, oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Ringus, I'm trying to stay away.
That's all right. I appreciate that. I
That's
appreciate
all
it,
right.
as you should. I just wanted to congratulate who will be our interim town clerk, Deb Starr. I think we just mentioned it. I think we mentioned her salary, but I don't think we mentioned her name. So I am on the Committee of Personnel Issues. It was a unanimous decision. Deb has served dutifully and dedicatedly to our Office of Town Clerk, and with the retirement, or upcoming retirement of Clerk Casey, I think she will hold that office in good stead while we search for the next individual who will serve as our town clerk. So I want to thank her for stepping into this role.
Thank you, Councilor Ringus. Is any other comments? Okay, is there a motion on item 1426?
Yes, there is, Council President. Motion upon the request of the Council President, the Town of Braintree, through the Braintree Town Council, it is so ordered pursuant to Section 2-8B and 2-8D of the Charter of the Town of Braintree, the Town Council approves Deborah J. Starr as interim town clerk effective April 1st, 2026, and will serve until a successor is chosen and qualified. The interim town clerk's salary shall be established at M-21E.
Motion's been made and seconded. We will now take a roll call vote because we have a remote participant. Counselor, or Clerk Semino, would you call the roll, please?
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty?
Aye.
Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Sterling? 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Semino. Congratulations, Deb. Good luck, and we'll be looking forward to working with you until we find a new permanent clerk. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Next matter on this agenda is 26019, Superintendent of Schools, MSBA Statement of Interest Core Project, Braintree High School, or take up any action relative thereto. I'll refer now to Councilor Baraka, Chair of the Committee on Ways and Means, for a recommendation on Order 26019.
Excuse me. Thank you, President Moran. The Committee of Ways and Means met earlier this evening, and we had a split vote, 2 in favor and 2 opposed, for moving this forward to the full council this evening.
Thank you, Councilor Baraka. I think that what I have heard from members of the council is a concern regarding whether this meeting will provide enough of a forum for a full discussion of this matter this evening. So what I am asking is for the clerk of the council to set up a meeting on next Wednesday at 7 p.m. in this hall for a full discussion, solely dedicated, council meeting solely dedicated to this subject. So if there is no objection, I would ask for a motion to table Order 2619.
Motion to table Order 26019.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll take a roll call. Clerk Semino?
Counselor Baraka?
No.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
No.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Quilty?
No.
Counselor Reynolds?
Yes.
Counselor Ringus?
No.
Counselor Sterling? I'm sorry, we couldn't hear your answer. It's yes? There's a lot of background noise. I'm going to have you say it one more time. Hold on. I'm going to put you on speaker. Counselor Sterling? Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Sterling is yes, so that's 4 noes, 5 yes.
Thank you. The matter is continued till next Wednesday at 7 p.m. in this hall. Thank you. The next matter is Order 26011, request for appropriation, French house gutter replacement and grounds restoration, the CPA application, or to take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing matter. I believe this has been tabled. Is there a motion to table?
Motion to table 26011.
Is there? That's, yeah, we need to
So-
open it first.
Open the public hearing
Okay,
for
is there a motion
2611.
to open the public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing for the French house gutter replacement and grounds restoration CPA application or take up any action relative thereto.
Motion's made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty? Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Yes.
Counselor Ringus?
Yes.
Counselor Sterling to open the public hearing for 2611.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, is there a motion to table this order and,
Motion to table 26011, French house gutter replacement and grounds restoration.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Roll call.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty? Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Yes.
Counselor Ringus?
Yes.
Counselor Sterling?
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, so we would now move on to the next matter, which is, there's an awful lot going on this page.
2612.
Yeah,
We're
2612.
gonna open and continue the public hearing.
Okay, is there a motion to open the hearing, because it is a public hearing, on Mayor request for appropriation, Thayer House Conditions Assessment and Rehabilitation Plan, CPA application, or take any action relative thereto?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Here, yes.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Sterling?
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, is there a motion to table this this
Motion to
order?
table 26012.
To
Chair.
April 29th, 2026 at 7:30 PM. Just went.
Pardon?
I'm just making the statement of the date because it is a
Oh.
public hearing. Continue
Okay.
it to April 29th, 2026 at 7:30 PM.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Clerk Semino. There's been a motion. Is there a second? Second. Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Counsel Barica.
Yes.
Counsel Diuti.
Yes.
Counsel Flaherty.
Yes.
Counsel Maglio.
Yes.
Counsel Moran.
Yes.
Counsel Quilty. Counsel Reynolds.
Yes.
Counsel Ringus.
Yes.
Counsel Sterling.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, that matter is tabled. Now we come to order number 26013. Mayor, 2026 Capital Improvement Plan, or take any action relative thereto. This is again another public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for order 26013?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call again, please.
Counsel Barica.
Yep.
Counsel Diuti.
Yes.
Counsel Flaherty.
Yes.
Counsel Maglio.
Yes.
Counsel Moran.
Yes.
Counsel Quilty.
Yes.
Counsel Reynolds.
Yes.
Counsel Ringus.
Aye.
Counsel Sterling.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Clerk Semino. I will now refer to Councilor Barica, Chair of the Committee on Ways and Means, for a recommendation on Order 2613.
Thank you very much, President Moran. The Committee of Ways and Means met on 2 evenings for an extensive period of time with the mayor's staff, and I know there's a number of capital appropriations this evening, so I will let the full council know that the committee is sending all of them with a unanimous favorable recommendation after much discussion and debate. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair Barica. Thank you. Would anyone from the mayor's staff like to speak on the order? We've got a couple of folks here from that. Mike Esmond?
Good evening, President Moran and members of the council. I'm Mike Esmond, the Finance Director. Sorry, I'm going to take this opportunity to give an overview of really everything, and then as we get to the subsequent motions, I'll try to be brief in my summary.
That's fine.
The motions in summary that are in front of the council tonight represent the mayor's 2026 capital improvement program. Under town charter, this is required, an update to this program is required to be filed every year. And this encompasses the 5 fiscal year period of 26, the year we're currently in, through fiscal 2030. From an all funds basis, so that's all funding sources, this represents roughly $96 million in proposed investments over that 5-year period. And roughly 80 projects were identified for the 5-year period. That encompasses, as we know, things as small as perhaps a piece of equipment, as a standalone one-time purchase, all the way through to a multi-year project or series of projects, encompassing substantial improvements across the town. As we have in the past and continue to do so, this represents a prioritization of the town's critical infrastructure. Roughly 60% of all the proposed investments in this plan, as we discussed with Ways and Means, correspond to investments made at the town's roadways or our sewer and water infrastructure, which are critical elements of our town's sort of our backbone, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything possible to keep up with capital replacement needs, upgrades, and critical capital repairs that are required. In addition to those important investments, we do make in this plan investments in our parks, in our fields, in our recreational facilities. We also invest in our town facilities. Investments in longer-term repairs that are required. For example, we are continuing our planning and improvements at the firehouse on Union, as well as we contemplate HVAC replacement at the police department's building. We also are doing our best to replace aging and end-of-life capital equipment, primarily at the Department of Public Works, but also investing in critical public safety infrastructure, equipment, particularly fire apparatus, as well as fleet replacement at the police department. We also, just as another important note, continue to try to make sure that we're investing in technology. And while there is a substantial need, and we're far from being able to address all the needs, this proposal will provide for roughly about $500,000 a year in critical technology upgrades at our schools, particularly as they demonstrated at Ways and Means that there's a substantial amount of equipment and assigned technology that is deployed across all the schools. Finally, I think there's some things to just note about the capital improvement program that's in front of you. This is an iterative document, and I mean that as in we continue to evolve and hopefully you see improve what we've been able to do in the last couple of years. We have expanded and again, on our debt affordability policy, so what we're specifically doing is articulating what we can continue to support as far as the debt service costs in our operating budget as a percentage target of our operating revenues that are forecast to be available over the next 5 years. It's important for the purposes of the mayor will be filing her 2027 budget. And we need to continue to stay on a track that our capital investments do not outstretch what we believe we can afford given the projected resources and revenues that are available to the town. We are also migrating to a new webpage where we're going to consolidate previous capital improvement programs to that one page, as well as accumulate and publish previous studies and other important information that's used as the source for this capital improvement program, and continue to try to provide more routine updates on how we're doing with respect to spending towards this plan and identifying where things have changed, on a more routine basis. Essentially trying to provide quarterly updates, whether it's to Ways and Means or more broadly to the council, so that we can, as we have done with the operating budget, try to continue to improve and find ways to better communicate to the council, to the residents, to others that use this information to understand what our resources are, how we've allocated them, and what are some of the key decisions that we're bringing forward. I do want to say this work has been also iterative in the sense that we are continuing to try to expand our collaboration across the various departments, and I thank all of them that are here and also have not here but have played a big part in continuing to provide additional information and helpful feedback, etc. The reality is, and I think we tried to identify this, there's a substantial capital need. I don't think Braintree is at all unique in that case. There are a lot of different funding sources that we identified that help the town meet those needs, but we are going to need and will continue to be challenged to address those going forward. And that's going to be a big part of the necessity of continuing to build off of this 2026 plan in the future versions ahead. So I'll be happy to answer any questions, and I know there are members of our team that will be here to help anything I can address.
Thank you. I'll open it to the council for questions. Anyone who wants to start? Councilor Baraka.
Excuse me. Thank you, President Moran. And just to echo for residents who, probably weren't joining us at the Ways and Means Committee meeting, the capital plan, I suggest if you're interested, you can go on to the town's website. It's very readable, and kudos to Director Esmond and Mayor Joyce for really putting in a narrative that is understandable to residents, outlines all the money, what it's going towards, where the money's coming from. Most of it is coming from grants and loans. So loans we have to pay back over a long period of time, just like any other big ticket item that you would purchase for your own house, a car or your house itself, and you pay that back over decades. Grants come from state and other funding sources that don't have to be paid back. Those are the things we really like to use to pay for things. And the other thing I think it's important to remind folks is that the capital plan, it pays for things that we can't support in a single budget year. So it's not for that annual recurring costs, mostly our town's workforce. These are things like a fire truck that we learned costs $1 million. $1 million to buy a fire truck, and that is such a necessary thing for our community. Or as Director Esmond said, HVAC, so our fire station and police stations can have temperature regulations. So it's really, really critical infrastructure to be chipped away at over time, and in this case, over 5 years. So if you want to learn more, everything is available. It's all online, and it's very, very accessible. It's in plain language and easy to read. So thank you to the mayor and her team for putting it together in such an easy to read and understand format.
Thank you, Councilor Barricker. Are there any other questions? I would just want to ask a couple of questions. One is, could I get an update on where we are on the central fire station, please? And how,
Sure.
how, if at all, it is addressed in this budget?
Sure. So I know Chief Ellis here as well. So I'll start and say this proposal actually tracks to two components of that. So one of the key priorities that we've made and identified is actually replacing the fire roof, first and foremost. So that is actually where I think the council will see the most immediate next steps. We have been working with the design and project management team, and I expect that we will be coming before the council in the coming months to actually request additional or further authorization for that project to move forward. It's important and very critical for us, and I think it'll ring obvious to everybody on the council that we want to make sure that any subsequent investments and improvements will be done under a replaced and fully, a brand new roof, essentially, so that we don't have any risks like we had last year when we did have a water loss at the firehouse. Simultaneous with that, this plan does propose roughly $4 million of additional investments that would be made. What we said is that we know that the previous iteration had a substantially larger sum as far as the total investments that were required, potentially under the different plans. That was inclusive of a wide range of mechanical system replacements or migrations to other parts of the facility, as well as updates to the living quarters and other things. What we've been working with the designer architect team is to try to identify a phasing so that we can stay within those affordability targets, but to start to move forward on some of the known deficiencies that are sort of clear and evident. So we're working with them. I think we said I think it was last week, that we do also want to simultaneously have a broader conversation about what the total price tag is for those investments, because they are substantial. And I think that's something we would come back to Ways and Means and the council on, is once we get that work, not just for the first phase, but subsequent ones, to look at that larger price tag and really kind of re-engage about how much is required to bring that building to good standing, and how much actual life we can expect from that after those investments are made.
My last question is directed towards roadways infrastructure. There's two lines that are in the multi-million-dollar range, roadway improvements and street and road safety improvements, design and planning. If a resident or a counselor wants to find out what's on those lists and whether their street is on them, how do they find out?
So we had published we did produce the list for Ways and Means. It isn't online now, but I think we can easily do that for you. I don't think we've published it yet. It's on the website. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It is on the website.
Where is it on the website, Ryan Matheson, who I used to coach in Little League?
Sorry.
If you go to departments, the Department of Public Works engineering page, and we have project updates and construction, roadway construction updates. So there's two different ones. Throughout the year we do updates, but then the full list is on a separate page.
Okay, you were one of my favorite baseball players. Now you're one of my favorite engineers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions from the council? Council Fleury.
It's not really a question so much as it is some general observations about our capital plan. There are great things about this plan, and the first of them is that it is a plan, and that I cannot overemphasize how important that is. We know this is where we are this year and what we're looking to build towards in future years. It gives us an appreciation of where we are and where we're going. And it is in plain language, which is something that not every budget in the universe ever always is. It's also, there are some great things included in this plan. To have a new fire truck, that's a big deal and very important. We're investing also in body cameras for our police force. And we're looking at purchasing a new reading curriculum for our elementary school students. These are important things. But I think I would be remiss if I did not emphasize that this is a lean capital plan, a really, really lean capital plan. We're spending the same amount of money on roads that we've been spending for several years, but because costs go up, we're getting a little bit less roads for that money every year. We are, committing some money to accessibility projects with curb cuts and other kinds of accessibility needs that our town has, but our progress is spotty and slow. And there are so many needs that aren't at all addressed in the capital plan. And the reason is not because we don't know that they exist, and it's not because we don't care, it's because we don't have a reliable, we don't have the money to cover them. So this is what we can afford on the revenue that we have. And it doesn't include that many things. It includes some really key, essential things. The priorities have been weighed carefully, and I think they are appropriate, but it is not a there just isn't a lot of money to cover how we're going to take care of this town. So I support I support this capital plan, but I think that needed to be said. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other counselors? Okay. Would anyone from the public wish to speak on the capital plan? Come on up, Mr. Cass.
So I'd just like to know, John Cass, I would just like to know what has been done on the firehouse HQ in the last year or so. And the reason why I asked that question is about a year ago, I had the opportunity to go to the firehouse and look at it. And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked and horrified by the state of the firehouse headquarters. It was disgusting. I mean, there were holes in the ceilings. You could see asbestos. There was one room that was yellow tagged off because there was mold in it. I looked at the tower. That was crumbling. There were bricks falling off it. I went into the bathroom. There were no doors on the bathroom. There was like beads there. The firehouse was in a terrible state. And actually what was really worse for me was that I found a document and this was only like a year or two ago, the firehouse was in such a bad state. I found another document that basically showed that in 2018 there was a report with lots and lots of photographs, right? Lots and lots of photographs. And I looked at the photographs and nothing had changed. So basically in 6 years, nothing had been done, you know. So, and what was really important to me is that it's emblematic of the lack of investment. And Councillor Flaherty, you said that we don't have any money, but we have options. We could raise taxes, we could have an override, but people might not want to do that. You know, the interesting thing to me in talking to citizens and residents around Braintree, even the people that don't want to raise taxes, is that they want to maintain the town. They want to maintain the buildings. They want to do that. And what I'm asking you all is to rethink this. I don't know, have a commission, you know, spend some time, get the ideas from the residents, to figure out some ways to raise money. And I know that you're all concerned about raising inflation and that you've got development people, real estate people, and other folks, because you can't raise taxes to take away that money by putting that investment in. I know that that's what you're all concerned about. But the residents in this town really, really want, they actually think that the town is run on a regular basis. I don't think most people understand the state of the buildings. And yes, I think a lot of people do see that from the schools, but it really came home to me when I saw the state of the firehouse. So getting back to my question, what changed? And the reason I'm asking that question is part of my frustration is I've been asking for several weeks now of the administration, Mayor Joyce, I think we had a meeting about that, just to find out what the state of the building is. So what's been changed? Because that's actually a success. We actually did some good things, which is great. And I also happened to go to a public meeting recently where Congressman Lynch said that he brought in a huge grant from the federal government to pay for the roof. So I don't know what that was about, but so what exactly has been done and what's the plan for it? Because I think a lot of people would like to know and like to know that you're making progress. But my other encouragement to you is most residents, even if and I would be happy paying more taxes because I see the state of things, but I know that not everybody is. So the other option is raise revenue. You know, start making an endowment. The value of the town is $10 billion. We're more valuable than in any other time in history, right? And so why don't we reach out and get 1%? Why don't we raise $10 million for an endowment for the schools in the capital? I think you'd find that the citizens of Braintree would be happy to open their pockets. I bet that they would. You know, I bet they would. I just went to the Greek Orthodox Church for the first time because I went to the bakery the other day. And I was a beautiful building. What a gem for Braintree. You know, a great building. And I looked at the walls and I saw that they raised all the money in 2008 and 2009. There's an example of local residents that are willing to step up and do something. I'm just pleading with you. Raise revenue somehow. You know, Thomas Watson in 1891 built Beld, and they basically almost doubled the size of the budget for the town. We can do this. This is an amazing town. It really is. It's inspirational. And don't be restricted by thinking that this is only going to raise inflation. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Cass. Mr. Esmond, do you want to give any kind of an answer on what's changed, which was the question? Chief Viola.
Good evening. I'll take my best stab at this, but what's changed is on May 6, 2024, I became the acting fire chief, and 1 year later, the fire chief. In that time, we analyzed the documents that we had from the previous group of people who was doing the renovations and having the project for the fire station. We had to take a different approach because, for a lot of reasons. One, space, new requirements, different things, and the roof was never even included in that. So the roof, in my eyes, was a first step in the project to phase it out and get it built. So the roof is the one, we have leaks all over the place where we did. We had a claim, we fixed it, but now we're going to replace the roof and the gutters and the downspouts and the fascia boards. And that's step one in our process. Step two is we have bi-weekly meetings with the architects and the OPM, and we're building a case to do the rest of the building. But all this stuff takes time, it takes money, procurement, everything else, red tape, and that's where we're at. So we're continuing our fight to push forward. Mayor Joyce made it perfectly clear to me when I took over that that was a priority for her, and that's what we're in the process of doing right now. As far as the holes in the walls and the reports of those things, we received a notice from the state about leaks and from apparatus fumes could be going upstairs. We replaced the door, facilities replaced the door for us. We patched some holes. Sure, it's ugly, but we're in the process of trying to make it better, and that unfortunately takes time. And money, more importantly.
Thank you.
What was appropriated years ago is just a drop in the bucket now, as you know, construction costs and everything else doubling and tripling. So we're there, we're working on it. You have a team that's focused on it, so that's the best I can do for the report.
Thank you, Chief. I just want to make sure that the needs of that department and the issues with that facility need to be addressed, and a way forward has to be identified one way or another, whether it's in that location or somewhere else. We've got to make some progress. We've got to make a commitment to move forward together on it. There's support for it. We've got to do it. We've got to figure out what's the best way to do it, but something's got to be done. We can't push it off any longer.
And
Thank you, Chief.
with all due respect, for 35 years, I've spent my time in that building, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
And in the future, hopefully, we'll be able to build it better, and even
Thank
if
you.
it's not that particular one.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to speak on this matter? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka.
Yes.
Counselor Diudi. Yes. Counselor Flaherty.
Aye.
Counselor Maglio.
Aye.
Counselor Moran.
Aye.
Counselor Quilty.
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Sterling.
Yes.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Is there a motion for Order 2613?
Motion 2613, Mayor's 2026 Capital Improvement Program, or take up any action relative thereto.
Page 11,
Isn't that
please.
Motion to approve the FY26 Capital Improvement Program as submitted.
Page 11.
It's right here.
Oh, okay, sorry, excuse me. Motion to approve the FY 2026 Capital Improvement Program as submitted.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka.
Yes.
Counselor Diudi. Yes. Counselor Flaherty.
Aye.
Counselor Maglio.
Aye.
Counselor Moran.
Aye.
Counselor Quilty.
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Sterling.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Moving now to 26014, Request for Appropriations, 2026 Capital Project, General Funding, Fund Bonding, or any other relative or action relative to thereto. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on Order 2614?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka.
Yes.
Counselor Diudi. Yes. Counselor Flaherty.
Yes.
Counselor Maglio.
Yes.
Counselor Moran.
Yes.
Counselor Quilty.
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Ringus.
Aye.
Counselor Sterling.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. I'll now refer to Council Baraka, Chair of the Ways and Means Committee, for a recommendation on 2614.
Thank you, President Moran. As stated earlier, the committee is sending this to the full council with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Thank you, Councilor Baraka. Would anyone from the mayor's staff wish to speak on this order? Mike?
Good evening again. Just very quickly, this is the second of 6 motions associated with the larger program we presented on momentarily ago. But just by way of summary, the motion that's in front of the council would authorize, $2.49 million for 3 separate authorizations. These would be new authorizations. Most of the spending that's in the capital improvement program has been authorized in prior years. So these would be new and are proposed as part of that plan.
Thank you. Councilors have any questions, any statements? Thank you. Seeing none. Is there anyone from the general public who wishes to speak on this order? Mr. Cass. Oh, by the way, you got 5 minutes.
This is about schools as well, right?
It's,
yeah, okay.
Yes.
What concerns me most is the maintenance picture. In 2022, the responsibility for school building maintenance shifted from school committee to the town council. 2 years ago, the town was spending roughly $6 million on school maintenance. This year, that number is $2 million. That is a $4 million reduction at the time, when we're already underspending. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I learned this last week. I was in shock. I was absolutely in shock. A $4 million reduction. That's in addition to the $1 million that's being cut out of the school budget at the moment. We also heard from Public Works that nearly all maintenance staff are tied up with reactive works. Director Matt Jacks described how he had visited the schools for the first time and also explained that most of the work that they're doing is reactive, which follows on from my conversations with Mike McGarity a couple of years ago, where out of 11 staff, 1 was working on maintenance and 10 were working on reactive. So fixing things only after they break, and that almost no scheduled maintenance work is being done. In most districts, about 30% of maintenance staff focus on preventative work. Here it appears to be close to 0 if we've reduced from 6 million to 4 million, to 2 million. That's not sustainable. I mean, what really, really concerns me, does everybody remember 2018? The 2 roofs that fell off, and then we had to spend $3 million in emergency funds? That's what really concerns me, you know. That's what I fear. And I remember talking to Mike McGarity and saying his biggest fear was a steam pipe was going to blow up and harm a child, you know. And I think we've actually had some floods, so he wasn't far wrong with that. What I'm asking the council to do is simple. Use your oversight authority. Ask hard questions. Require transparency. Not require local residents like myself to do a Freedom of Information Act requests to find that data. And put in place the legislation. You have power. You have power. You have power. You can put legislation in place and policies needed to ensure that all school buildings, not just one, are maintained responsibility. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Mr. Cass. Would anyone want to, from the administration, want to comment on the reduction that he referenced?
Mr. President, Mike Eswin, Finance Director. The mayor's budget will be filed in a couple weeks. I feel, well, I don't want to speak for the mayor entirely, but I think I feel very comfortable that members will see and the residents will see that there has not been any reduction of $4 million to the operating budget in the school facilities, utility, and custodial budgets. We are absolutely challenged to continue to sustain the cost of the town-wide operations that's inclusive of school with the revenue that we have, and we'll continue to discuss that. But the reality is actually this council actually helped support a proposal last year to consolidate into one single revolving fund additional facilities revenues that could be purposed for this, projects and maintenance. I think that we recognize that the amount of repairs and costs that the facilities team has to try to keep up with is a very substantial challenge, and I think finding additional resources to help support that is, given the number of buildings across the town that we have to maintain, is obviously a big challenge. But there's simply no way that we would have implemented a reduction of that nature.
Thank you, Director Esmond. Councilor Baraka, please.
Thank you very much, President Moran, and thank you so much, Mr. Cass, for your continued engagement. And I just want to let folks know that a lot of what you're asking, rightly so, are the amount and volume and number of questions that are volleyed at our town staff occur during our committee meetings, so that we have a extremely dedicated amount of time with staff. I think we probably met over the course of 6+ hours on, I'm happy to let any of the other committee members speak about it, on the capital plan, to ask those hard questions to make sure that we are understanding exactly what we're voting on and doing it in the best way that we feel for the residents and the community. And then, not always easy to find. However, all of the documents that the council receives, every single number, piece of paper, it's all available to the public. So if you feel like you're not getting, or not just you, but any resident doesn't feel like they have the information they need, please reach out to any of the counselors, the clerk of the council, because what we have access to, all the residents have access to. So there is definitely, there's no hidden documents, there's no hidden secrets. It is not always easy to locate, however. So, but I want to say thank you, because it is important for residents to know that the work that goes on in the committee hearings is really where a lot of that, like, nitty-gritty, deep digging takes place. So stay tuned. The budget hearings are televised just for that very reason, to make sure people can see all the questions that are being answered. And if you have questions you'd like us to ask, please send those along to the clerk of the council. Thank you, President Moran.
Thank you, Councilor Baraka. And I will echo the thoroughness of the Ways and Means Committee and the Public Works Committee and reviewing matters that relate to the capital plan and the use of capital funds to fund various projects. Your work is excellent. There is no enemy of transparency on this council. We will get answers for people if they ask them. So I appreciate your explanation. I thank you, Mr. Esmond, for your explanation. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to comment on this order? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilor Baraka?
Yes.
Councilor Diuti? Yes. Councilor Flaherty? Yes. Councilor Maglio?
Yes.
Councilor Moran?
Aye.
Councilor Quilty? Councilor Reynolds?
Yes.
Councilor Ringus?
Aye.
Councilor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Thank you for your explanations tonight from all the department heads. The next is 2615, request
No,
for...
we need the motion, please.
Pardon me? Oh, did I miss it? Oh, jeez. Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, motion for order 26014, Town of Braintree, Massachusetts, and Town Council so ordered that the Town of Braintree appropriates the sum of $2,490,000 to pay costs of the following capital projects. Source, general fund debt. Title, DPW equipment. Amount, $1.5 million. Authorizing statute, Chapter 44, Section 7-1. General fund debt, police equipment. Amount, $940,000, Chapter 44, Section 7-1. General fund debt, phone system upgrade, $50,000, Chapter 44, Section 7-1. and for the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto, that the amounts indicated above for each project are estimates, and that the mayor may allocate more funds to any one or more of such projects and less to others, so long as, in the judgment of the mayor, each of the projects described above can be completed within the total appropriation made by this order. That to meet the appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to the authorizing statutes described above, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other action necessary to carry out these projects.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thanks. Okay, moving to order number 2615, Mayor Request for Appropriations, 2026 Capital Projects, Enterprise Fund Bonding, or any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for order 2615?
So moved.
Motion's moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. I'll now refer to Councilor Baraka, Chair of the Ways and Means Committee, for recommendation on order 2615.
Thank you, President Moran. Similarly, the committee is sending this to the full council with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Would anyone from the mayor's staff wish to speak on this article, or order? I'm sorry, lapsing into town meeting. Anyone?
Good evening again. This is the third motion of 6. So what this one will do, by quick way of summary, is to authorize $12.5 million for 4 identified projects. And I think it's important for me to emphasize that the intended funding source for the repayment of the debt that would be issued to support these projects will come from what we call enterprise, or essentially proprietary business resources that are generated from the other, from water and sewer fees, golf fees, or from the stormwater fees that are collected by each of those respective departments. And while these are general obligations of the town, it is the intention that those will be the funding sources, not the general fund ultimately. I mentioned that this authorizes $12.5 million in funds. The largest item there is for $12 million to support improvements for the water distribution system throughout the town. That would be proposed at a roughly $3 million in spending over the next 4 years with this authorization, so through 2030. And the other 3 items, 2 of which are at the golf course, in part to help replace the very old irrigation system controllers that have been in place for a couple of decades or a few decades, and then also to fund the reconstruction of the 8th hole green, as well as for an investment to repair the drainage system located at Middle Street. These again were identified as projects in the larger plan, and I'll be happy, or with the team, answer any questions that folks have.
Thank you. Would any counselor wish to ask any questions on this order? Seeing none, is any member of the general public who wishes to speak on order 2615? Mr. Cass.
I'm not sure if this is still related to schools, but Mike had just said that the numbers that I gave were incorrect. I got those numbers from the administration, a representative of the administration. If they're not correct, could the administration get back to me with the amount of money that was spent in 25-26?
Thank you, Mr. Cass.
I appreciate
If you
it.
direct your question to me, I'll be happy to make sure that
If
you
you
get a
could,
response
if you
to
could
it.
ask,
Thank you.
if you could ask, that would be wonderful.
I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you
But
so
we-
much.
I
Oh,
would
and
like-
then also one more point on the firehouse.
We're beyond that. If you want to talk to me on the firehouse, I'll buy you lunch and you can talk to me about it.
No, no,
and
no,
I'll
no.
make sure that
I'd just like to know what actually has been done. The
I'll-
chief said some things, but he didn't actually say
I will
what they were.
get those answers for you.
Thank you so
I want
much.
to stay
I
on the
appreciate it.
orders that we're on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other member of the public who wishes to speak on this? Is there a motion to close the hearing on Capital
Motion to close
2615?
2615.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Yes. Counselor Reynolds?
Yes.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, is there a motion on Order 2615?
Yes. The Town of Braintree, Massachusetts, in Town Council so ordered that the Town of Braintree appropriates the sum of $12,515,000 to pay the costs of the following capital projects: Water Sewer Fund debt, water system improvements, $12 million, Chapter 44, Section 8. Gulf Fund debt, irrigation system controllers, $65,000, Chapter 44, Section 7-1. Gulf Fund debt, 8th Green reconstruction, $150,000, Chapter 44, Section 7-1. Stormwater Fund debt, Middle Street drainage repair, $300,000, Chapter 44, Section 7-1, and for the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto, and that to meet the appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to the authorizing statutes described above, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other action necessary to carry out these projects. Any borrowing pursuant to this order shall constitute a general obligation of the town, but it is the intention of this council that any such borrowing shall be repaid in the first instance from the corresponding listed enterprise fund.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Yes. Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Now we would move to Order 2616, and the next kind of money that we're going to spend is other funds, 2026 capital projects, other funds, or take up any action relative thereto. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for Order 2616?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus?
Aye.
Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thanks. I will once again refer to Councilor Baraka, Chair of the Committee on Ways and Means, for a recommendation on Order 2616.
Thank you, President Moran. The committee is sending this with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Would anyone from the mayor's staff wish to speak on this order? Mike?
Good evening again. The motions that are before you, there are 7 specifically, are funded from the retained earnings from each of the corresponding funds. They are made, this is typical for us, particularly with the enterprise funds, to propose and request authorization for some of the capital improvement program to be funded through the retained earnings. We presented these at the Ways and Means Committee. You can see them listed before you. Some of these are annual funding that we've sought, particularly, for example, of the catchment investigations at the stormwater, and others. I noted earlier, I'd probably just highlight one, is the controller replacement at the golf course. These would be for a portion of that project where we are replacing, we're essentially replacing software that would not be appropriate for a bond to be the primary funding source. So these were discussed and presented at Ways and Means, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that would any member would have. or
Thank you,
from the
thank
team.
you, Director Esmond. Do any council members have any questions? Thank you. Here, is there any member of the public that has a question? Wore 'em out. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing for 26-016.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. We now move to a series of motions that fall under this order. Is there a motion for Order 2616?
Yes. So Town of Braintree, Massachusetts, and Town Council so ordered. E1, Stormwater Enterprise Fund, that the sum of $261,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Certified Stormwater Fund retained earnings for the purpose of catchment investigations.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Counselor Barrica? Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
E2, motion for Stormwater Enterprise Fund, motion that the sum of $25,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Stormwater Fund retained earnings for the purpose of Stetson Street culvert design and permitting.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, third one.
E3, motion that the sum of $50,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Certified Stormwater Fund retained earnings for the purpose of stormwater investigation and rehab.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Second. Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
E4, Water Sewer Enterprise Fund, motion that the sum of $500,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Certified Water Sewer Fund retained earnings for the purpose of water and sewer capital equipment replacement.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Second. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Yes. Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Next.
E5, Golf Enterprise Fund, motion that the sum of $60,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Certified Golf Fund retained earnings for the purpose of the purchase of an irrigation system controllers and software upgrade.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Aye.
Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
E6 Golf Enterprise Fund, motion that the sum of $8,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Certified Golf Fund retained earnings for the purpose of the purchase of a large area fertilizer spreader.
I'm tempted to make a joke about fertilizer spreaders, but is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Barrica?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
E7 Gulf Enterprise Fund, motion that the sum of $20,000 be transferred from fiscal year 2025 Certified Golf Fund retained earnings for the purpose of the purchase of a top dresser attachment.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty? Aye. Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. All right. Now we would move to public hearing for Order 2617. Is there a motion?
Motion to open the public hearing for Order 261017.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty? Aye. Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty? Yes. Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. I would now turn to Committee Chair of Ways and Means, Councilor Baraka.
Thank you very much. This has also been voted at the committee as with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Would any council member wish to speak on this order? Seeing none, is there any member of the general public willing to speak or wishing to speak on this order? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing on Order 2617?
Motion to close public hearing 261017.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Thanks.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Is there a motion on Order 2617?
Yes. Town of Braintree, Massachusetts, in Town Council ordered that the Town of Braintree appropriates the sum of $2,014,000 to pay the costs of wastewater rehabilitation projects Phase 15 and for the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto, and that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to Chapter 44, Section 7-1 of the general laws or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore, and that all or a portion of this amount may be borrowed through the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, and the mayor, the treasurer, and any other appropriate officials of the town are authorized to execute and deliver any agreements or other documents in connection therewith, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other action necessary to carry out this project. Any borrowing pursuant to this order shall constitute a general obligation of the town, but it is the intention of this council that any such borrowing shall be repaid in the first instance from the Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund.
Is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Now turning to 26018, Mayor request for appropriation bond authorization from MWRA I&I funds, Phase 16, or take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for Order 2618?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti?
Yes.
Counselor Flaherty?
Aye.
Counselor Maglio?
Aye.
Counselor Moran?
Aye.
Counselor Quilty?
Yes.
Counselor Reynolds?
Aye.
Counselor Ringus? Aye. Counselor Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, I'll now refer once again to Councilor Baraka, Chair of the Ways and Means, for a recommendation on 2618.
We are sending this with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Would anyone from the mayor's staff wish to speak on this order? You guys good? Okay. Okay. Any councilors wish to speak on this? Is there anyone from the general public who wishes to speak on this? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing for Order 26018.
Is there a motion made and seconded? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baraka?
Yes.
Counselor Diuti? Yes. Counselor Flaherty?
Yes.
Counselor Maglio?
Yes.
Counsel Moran.
Aye.
Counsel Quilty. Yes. Counsel Reynolds.
Aye.
Counsel Ringus. Aye. Counsel Sterling.
Aye.
Okay, that is unanimous. Is there a motion for Order 2618?
Yes. Town of Braintree, Massachusetts, and Town Council ordered that the Town of Braintree appropriates the sum of $2,438,000 to pay the costs of wastewater rehabilitation projects Phase 16 and for the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto, and that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to Chapter 44, Section 7-1 of the general laws, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore, and that all or a portion of this amount may be borrowed through the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, and the mayor, the treasurer, and any other appropriate officials of the town are authorized to execute and deliver any agreements or other documents in connection therewith, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other action necessary to carry out this project. Any borrowing pursuant to this order shall constitute a general obligation of the town, but it is the intention of this council that any such borrowing shall be repaid in the first instance from the Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counsel Barica.
Yes.
Counsel Diuti.
Yes.
Counsel Flaherty. Aye. Counsel Maglio.
Aye.
Counsel Moran.
Aye.
Counsel Quilty. Yes. Counsel Reynolds.
Aye.
Counsel Ringus.
Aye.
Counsel Sterling.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. We will now move to Order 2623, Mayor School Trust Fund Committee, or take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for Order 2623?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counsel Barica.
Yes.
Counsel Diuti.
Yes.
Counsel Flaherty.
Yes.
Counsel Maglio.
Yes.
Counsel Moran.
Aye.
Counsel Quilty. Yes. Counsel Reynolds.
Aye.
Counsel Ringus. Aye. Counsel Sterling.
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. I will now refer to Councilor Ringus, Chairman of the Committee on Ordinances and Rules, for recommendation on 2623.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Ordinance and Rules did meet earlier this evening. We voted for a unanimous favorable recommendation to the full council on Order 26023.
Would anyone from the Mayor's administration wish to speak on this? Mayor Joyce.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President, and good evening, Council. So we'll snap out of capital planning mode and into something a little bit more unique and I think exciting opportunity. So just as background, I'm just going to read an excerpt from the memo, and then I'll be happy to answer questions. So tonight, I am submitting the accompanying ordinance creating the School Fund Committee. The School Fund Committee is in accordance with the will of Nathaniel Thayer, who devised certain real estate to the town of Braintree. Mr. Thayer's will, probated on or about September 1st, 1829, provides in relevant part as follows. I give and devise said real estate in the town of Braintree to the town of Braintree aforesaid for the purpose or purposes herein mentioned and no other. And it's my will that neither said real estate or any part thereof shall ever be sold, aliened, or conveyed, nor leased or let for a longer term than 21 years. And it is also my will that the yearly income thereof, deducting for necessary repairs, taxes, and care of said estate, under the direction of the, quote, School Fund Committee in the town of Braintree, shall be forever appropriated for the support of the public schools thereof and for the promotion of learning in them. So prior to the mayoral form of government, the School Fund Committee was established, and then when the charter was created for the new form of government in 2008, this was not reestablished in the charter. So this fund committee has since gone dormant. The good news is that the money in the fund is still very healthy and was originally in the 90s. Created and funded to the sum of $2 million, now has close to $2.7 million in it and has not been accessed or, I think, thought much of in recent years. So this request is to reestablish an ordinance to create the School Fund Committee, which we are proposing would be comprised of three committee members total, one being the mayor of Braintree and 2 town residents who are 18 years of age or older and registered to vote in the town. I will note that if this is approved by the council and this fund committee established through the ordinance, I would then be appointing to the committee, and I wanted to sort of just lay out who I was intending to appoint to the committee. They are being appointed to the committee because they are residents, but are selected, I think, because of the unique understanding that they have of the current town finances and challenges, and will be advising the mayor on the disbursement of those funds if and when they're made. So this allows us access to the $2.7 million and a formal way to discuss the stewardship of that money. And I think this has been long sort of lore. I've heard of this, the fund and the balance and the history of the committee. I want to thank our treasurer, Christina O'Connell, for doing a very deep dive. I think she had prepared at Ways and Means, or Ordinance and Rules earlier this evening, actual copies of the will. So she had done a deep dive in that to make sure that we were following the correct procedures to access the money and potentially spend the money from this. So look forward to questions that you might have, and happy to answer them the best that I can this evening. So thank you.
Thank you. Would any councilors have any questions? Councilor Barraker and then Councilor Rings.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor Joyce. This is great news. It feels like a little bit of found money. And kudos to the treasurer collector, who I just continue to be impressed with. The due diligence of her work. Just out of curiosity, what is the property in reference?
So I also do want to give a shout out to a resident and former committee member, Alan Flowers. He had provided a bit of history on this that prompted us to start, really focusing in on this. So it was sort of the spark of an email from him that had also supported us having started to look into that, but then really dig into it. And with Christina's help and also the solicitor's help in drafting the ordinance and making sure that this was the right way to access this. So the land originally was the land that the high school was constructed on. So when the town had decided to construct the high school at the location, they actually shifted the designation of the land that this applied to across the street from the high school. So this is the infamous land behind Burlington Coat Factory that backs up to, is off of West Street. It's currently vacant. In the 90s, we had sort of sold development rights and created a conservation easement that lives with MDC, which is now, I believe, DCR. And that was where we had secured the $2 million to set up the trust originally. And since then, the trust has been accumulating interest and is now around $2.7 million, of which most of it we believe is expendable, except for $462, maybe the treasurer had said in ordinance and rules. So most of it's expendable. Obviously, per the will, there's some amount that we need to reserve, but.
That's great. Thank you. That's great.
Are there any questions for the mayor? Councilor Rings.
I just want to say thank you to you and your staff, obviously the treasurer, for their work on this. We had a thorough sort of talk about this during O&R. Just some of the things I wanted to point out was obviously that the town solicitor to review this and help draft it so that we know it does comply with everything that we needed to. There is noted in the ordinance that this committee will meet at least 4 times a year, so residents can rest assured that there will be sort of ongoing meetings as to these monies, and it will be governed by the open meeting law, so that there will be access from residents to sort of see like what is going on and how these are being done. So this is, I think, is a great thing as we face sort of a lot of budgetary constraints to sort of maybe free up some money and make some positive additions to our school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rings. Are there any other councilors that wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this matter? Oh, who? Oh, Mr. Tolman, come on.
I'm Robert Tolman. I spoke with the mayor about this a while ago. I know that we have historical buildings that are tied to the Thayer legacy. I didn't know what she just told us. That's excellent news. I brought this up in a Ways and Means thing about if there was a way that you could work with Thayer and find a way to get them to be involved in the town, and this looks like there's a way to do it. But this has been a dormant fund, right? But that's what I'm getting, right, pretty much. So that's good news. I just was wondering, like, we have the Historical Society, and we have these buildings, and I just think we could probably get some more income out of it with Thayer's help. I would urge someone to kind of, talk to Thayer about getting involved because they're a legacy part of our town. Just a thought. Thank you. And you guys are doing a good job. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tom.
And you guys weathered Mr. Cass, so I love you. I know he loves you all. I know he does, and I know he means well. But you guys have been very transparent about everything you're doing. I know you are, because when I started, I was skeptical. But every step of the way, I've seen everything that you've done. I've been at the Ways and Means Committee. You've explained everything to me, and you've made it clear I can come anytime. If I can come, anybody can come. And you guys have been kind with me, so thank you for that. But you're doing a good job, and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. Is there anyone else from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing on Order 2623?
Motion to close public hearing 26023.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counsel Baraka?
Yes.
Counsel Diuti? Yes. Counsel Flaherty?
Yes.
Counsel Maglio?
Yes.
Counsel Moran?
Aye.
Counsel Quilty?
Yes.
Counsel Reynolds?
Aye.
Counsel Ringus?
Aye.
Counsel Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Okay, that is unanimous. Is there a motion?
Motion for Order 26023 to adopt the ordinance to create a school trust fund committee as submitted.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Counsel Baraka?
Yes.
Counsel Diuti? Yes. Counsel Flaherty?
Yes.
Counsel Maglio?
Yes.
Counsel Moran?
Aye.
Counsel Quilty? Yes. Counsel Reynolds?
Aye.
Counsel Ringus?
Aye.
Counsel Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay. Thank you. Now, on to 2624, Council President reclassification, Town Clerk, or any action relative thereto. I would now refer to Councilor Flaherty, Chair of the Committee on Personnel Issues, for a recommendation on 2624.
Thank you. The Committee on Personnel Issues met on March 31st and voted for a unanimous favorable recommendation to the full council on Order 26024. The Committee on Personnel Issues recommends the salary for the town clerk to be reclassified and established at M23. So for reference, it's currently classified as M21, which gives it a salary range of $105,365 to $125,872. The M23 classification would reset that to be a salary range between $113,859 and $135,541. There are several stages between each of those high and low ends of the range that a person can move through as they advance through their career. That's the recommendation of the Personnel Issues Committee.
Thank you, Councilor Flaherty. Are there any questions from the council? Councilor Baraka, please.
Thank you. Just to add on to Councilor Flaherty's comments, one of the things we looked at, in addition to the responsibilities for the town clerk in proposing this increase, is we did review the area median income for Norfolk County in 2025, which is the latest data available. For a single person, the AMI, area median income, is $115,800. So at the M23, that is about at the low end of that range, and we felt that that was a fair starting point, especially considering because this role is not just the town clerk, and we know how expansive that job is, but also licensing responsibilities in addition to voting and all of the incredible responsibilities and duties that come with the regular, I should say, like day-to-day town clerk work. So just for some context.
Councilor Flaherty.
I forgot to add that we also considered how the job of orchestrating elections, which is not the only thing that the town clerk does, but it is a critical component of that job. That job is expanding all the time. We have now mail-in balloting, we didn't used to have that. We have early voting, we didn't used to have that. The national, state, and local elections are under scrutiny and pressure is on, and I think that considering all of those changes to the job, which I think they should not be ignored, and that was another reason why we recommended the reclassification.
Thank you. And could you just, for the public's edification, when was this last reclassified prior? It's been a number of years, correct?
I think it was last reclassified.
2017, maybe?
Yeah, I believe my memory serves. I don't have my paperwork in front of me. I believe when we were looking at it, it was 2017.
It's
It was
2017.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since it's been reclassified, and so that, I think that warrants it as well. So, any other questions councilors have? That being said, is there a motion?
Motion for favorable recommendation to the full council.
Motion's made.
Motion. Motion
keep
upon
going.
request of the council president and pursuant to section 2-8B and 2-8D of the town charter, the town of Braintree, through the Braintree Town Council, approve the reclassification of the town clerk position. The reclassified grade will be M23 to take effect on July 1st, 2026, or when a successor is chosen and qualified.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Counsel Berica?
Yes.
Counsel Diuti?
Yes.
Counsel Flaherty?
Aye.
Counsel Maglio?
Aye.
Counsel Moran?
Aye.
Counsel Quilty?
Yes.
Counsel Reynolds?
Aye.
Counsel Ringus?
Aye.
Counsel Sterling? 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Next matter on the agenda is communications 1526, Council President School Master Plan update. Is there a representative of the school department who would wish to give us an update on the master plan, please?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim McDonald, Superintendent of Schools. I've been asked by Council President Moran to give a brief update, which I'm happy to tonight, on the master plan process. Since this is a town-led process, I'll be saying a few words and then passing it over to Mayor Joyce. As many of you remember, in 2024, in the leadership of my predecessor, Superintendent Lee, the school department engaged with a consultant named Sanborn to create and analyze options to downsize our elementary school footprint and redistrict our students to increase efficiency and realize some potential short-term flexibility, financial flexibility. While this engagement resulted in a number of potentially viable options, in March of 2025, the mayor stated that there was a need for a long-term vision and plan for all our school buildings, not just the elementary schools, before making any decision that would result in any school closures. So in October of 25, the mayor's office, under the leadership of Mayor Joyce and Finance Director Esmond, engaged with ERS and Perkins Eastman to complete a school building master plan encompassing all the district schools. The effort was completed with a presentation that included 4 potential scenarios for Braintree schools going forward. Since the initial presentation from ERS, the school committee has voted to eliminate 2 of the 4 options, focusing on a short-term option which reduces our elementary school footprint to 5 total sites in the short term, and a long-term plan which rely on MSBA participation and selection and a debt exclusion. In the event of a partnership with the MSBA, we'd possibly aim to create a shared junior and senior high school campus serving students in grades 7 through 12 at the current high school location, reconfiguring middle schools serving 3 through 6th grade, and a reduction to 3 or 4 elementary schools serving pre-K to 2. Or, by working with the MSBA, we might choose to remain in our current model of pre-K at a hopefully renovated or new high school, elementary, kindergarten through 4th grade in elementary schools, middle schools remaining 5 through 8, and a high school 9 through 12. Last night, the school committee voted 6-1 to begin this process in the 2026-2027 school year by relocating Highlands Elementary School to Old South in September of 2026. And at this point, I'd like to pass it over to Mayor Joyce to follow up.
Thank you. I think just to follow up with what Superintendent McDonald had shared, this was an effort led on the town side in collaboration with the schools and was funded through the Mayor's Reserve. So we had set up a fund to, knowing going into our administration, we wanted to have reserves, so to speak, outside of our typical capital funding to tackle projects that were big picture, trying to show direction. And when we had talked about a redistricting effort last budget season in the effort to ultimately gain some efficiencies and potentially save on operational costs at the elementary school level, there was a lot of questions about what comes next. And at the time, you know, that wasn't all we were going to have to work on. Again, the override didn't save us. Consolidation is not going to save us. You know, we really have to keep honing in on you know, being able to afford the schools that we want to have with the resources we predict to have. And those still are competing with each other, and probably will, but, you know, wanting to have a plan and a direction if some of these decisions are made to create some efficiencies. What could that look like for next steps? How might that run alongside, you know, a new high school project, which, you know, continues to be spoken about throughout the community and was on an agenda and is going to be talked about next week. Throughout this whole master plan, we always held true that we wanted to build a new high school, but we don't want to lose sight of the fact that we have to plan for maintenance and capital investments. As you know, John Cass was here tonight, always talking about we need revenue to afford maintenance, we need revenue to afford capital. I mean, we have to kind of balance all of these things at the same time. So the master plan talked about options that we could have. One of the main things we wanted to try to understand is what could we fit in the buildings that we have? You know, how far could we consolidate? What could be the options for consolidation? This was through this effort the first time we really started to explore the potential for grade span. There's a lot of that work happening in other communities and nationwide. Benefits and, you know, I think trade-offs that we want to have a lot more conversation around. So the school committee has been sort of taking that effort and trying to make some decisions to move forward on it. And a lot of that continued discussion is currently happening at the school committee. And I know many of you are attending school committee meetings. And for residents watching, all of those are recorded and you can follow that effort. So yeah, we keep plugging away at this. So I'm happy to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the mayor? Councilor Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Superintendent, for your opening comments. Mayor, you talk about operational costs, and you know I've heard a few different things. How do you weigh from a cost-saving standpoint? And if I want to back up first. So I've been an operations person for a long time. I've had to face very similar situations where I've been asked to come into an organization and fix it, or asked to help out another organization that has a lot of problems, a lot of bleeding, okay? So one of the first things is kind of a triage approach, stop the bleeding, right? So in the case of our schools, I know I've seen a couple of different figures about the cost per student and what it costs to maintain, and I'm going to focus primarily on the elementary schools, although we still have a lot of maintenance issues that we're dealing with at our newer middle schools, and of course everybody knows about the high school and the extent of those problems. So when it comes to the elementary school, as the master plan, the intent of the master plan is to stop the bleeding and to eliminate unnecessary costs so that there is money that is freed up to educate our students. Number one in my book is money. The priorities obviously should be money towards the quality of education of every student in our system. I 100% support that. Number two in my book priority would be the learning environment that they find themselves in, the physical structure that they're in. We talked a little bit tonight earlier about the fire department and about the police department and some of the capital needs that are being addressed there. One of the things was an HVAC system. I know we have some problems like that in some of our schools, just to name a few. So my approach first, again, is to stop the bleeding. And I see a number of buildings that are doing a lot more bleeding than other buildings are when it comes to our elementary schools. how is it that you weigh the benefits of operational costs being cut in a particular school, or as a reason to close a school for operational costs, versus the actual state of repair of a building that's hemorrhaging from a maintenance standpoint?
So I'll try to answer that, and then if I don't get it, we can maybe ask it in a different way.
Okay.
But I do want to say that the leading charge of the master planning effort has always been grounded with educational experience for our students. And I will say that one of the big efforts of the initial phase of this work, the architecture team, Perkins Eastman, came in and they have this very multi-layered look. They observed all the schools in session, took pictures, asked questions to educators and leadership in the buildings about how the buildings are used. And I think one of the most sort of eye-opening outcomes of that, they called it an educational adequacy score, and they scored all of our buildings against this educational adequacy score. So you can go online to the facilities dashboard and you can look up and read about the educational adequacy and a lot of other information by each individual building that we have. But one of the most fascinating things, and when we were, getting that feedback and starting to see how well our buildings are supporting our students' learning, especially at the elementary school level, I was pleasantly surprised. Their scores out of 100, and I was expecting to see, 40s, 30s in some of our older buildings, but a lot of the scores were mid to high 60s, a little bit different across elementary school buildings. And I think that's a testament to how well teachers have been managing buildings that might be outdated, might not have the right sort of modern, flexible spaces for learning, making classrooms bright and happy when maybe, it's not the best HVAC, air-conditioned classroom. So really creating functional spaces. We know we need to do work on the facility side, but I think, it's not like completely burning down from like an education experience side. I think there's like aspirations for where we want to go, but that was like a good, we need to work on this, but it's not as bad as I feared for like the educational experience that our students have. So that work was really, how do we give our students the best experience in the schools? If there are areas of the building or certain buildings that are holding students back, how do we look at that? How do we set forward prioritization in that? And I think when you say a plan to maintain, we are still trying to get there. A lot of the maintenance that we've been talking about, historically, what was spent like maintaining buildings in the last year, it's more like what have we been fixing as it breaks. And I think, to actually maintain and I'm gonna say it simply, but it's kind of more complex, like clean all the air filters, change all the light bulbs, do all the things in the building systems that, we're trying to get better about tracking that and talking about the cost of that. It's a little bit easier to track like how much we spend on gas and electric and water and sewer fees on the buildings, but where we want to be and where we should be is something that we need to talk about, because if we're going to hold on to whatever portfolio of buildings, we also need to be dedicating the right amount of capital to not only adequately maintain them, but to make the investments in those buildings. And we haven't had a solid strategy in that. We have been kind of in this like break fix. When this town took on the buildings, it helped, but we didn't add a massive number. We didn't really add any employees on the town side when we dumped all the buildings on our facilities team, who's very capable, but then they had to take on all these buildings, and then all these buildings kind of carry more priority, especially when students are in them. So if something breaks there and something breaks at town hall, we're getting to the schools first. So we need to be better about talking about that need and how that works. But so from a maintenance perspective, I think we still need to build out what that means and what that true cost is. So I don't know if I answered your question, because I feel like I got off of maybe the question.
I appreciate your comments and insights and explanation to maintenance and the priority of maintenance when it comes to school buildings and non-school buildings. But my question had to do really was the criteria that you're using, or the weight that you put on in your considerations of this master plan by the school committee, of when you cite an operational cost of a building, That's the principal, the school nurse,
Yes.
the administration of that building as a reason to close that building, but maintain a building. And maybe this is just a hypothetical, but I'd like an answer to the hypothetical. When you've got a building that clearly is falling apart, that clearly requires heavy maintenance to keep it going, where does that cost factor in to the overall determination of your decision-making of what schools remain open and which don't, based on those two pieces of criteria?
So on the operational side, the savings would be seen potentially in the school's budget because they would have, say, if they went from 6 buildings to 5, they would save on a principal. They could save on, number of classrooms. If you have, between 2 schools, 4 third grades, and if you combine them, you could have 3 third grades. Depending on the class sizes, you might save a teacher in that grade level. So on the building consolidation side, the schools could see operational savings in their operational budget.
That could apply to any of the schools.
Yes.
How is that a difference maker when you're making a decision over keeping a school open that has more maintenance needs than one that doesn't?
Yep. So we try to, so that's kind of like separate from like what buildings have facilities investment needs and which ones are more significant. Like how do you best decide where to put your resources and which, what the magnitude of investment is needed to not only maintain but improve the school. So I think that's on the facilities side of where, they're trying to.
That to me would be a heavier lift than an operational side consideration.
It is a heavier lift.
Right.
And I think historically, we haven't done enough on that side. I think the school, before the facilities maintenance came over to the town, the schools were also charged with managing their buildings, and that's not their expertise. Like they had, they tried to keep up with it, but I think we're better suited with expertise on the town side, but we have a lot of work to do because we're trying to make up and build new systems out. So I think, it is a heavy lift on the town side because we ultimately are responsible for affording the maintenance and upkeep and capital investment through our budgets.
Okay,
Counselor,
thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Counselor. If there's no objection, we are going to have a full night of availability to discuss issues with the master plan and questions that we have about the statement of interest next Wednesday. So if there's no objection, we will continue this next week with this line of questioning. Thank you. Next, I'd like to move to the Resolution 1326, Councilor Maglio, resolution on keeping Braintree welcoming and safe for all, or take up any action relative thereto. Vice President Maglio.
Thank you. So I can read, should I go straight to reading it?
Yep, go right ahead.
So this is a 01326, resolution on keeping Braintree welcoming and safe for all, or take up any action relative thereto. Whereas the town of Braintree is home to nearly 7,500 foreign-born residents who are woven into the fabric of our community as teachers, healthcare workers, small business owners, neighbors, and friends, and whereas immigrant residents contribute to our local economy while demonstrating daily the values of hard work, resilience, and civic participation that define the American spirit, and whereas the safety and strength of Braintree depends upon trust between all residents and their government, such that every person, regardless of immigration status, can report crimes, seek help in emergencies, and participate in civic life without fear. Be it proclaimed that the town of Braintree does welcome all immigrants while recognizing their immeasurable contributions to Braintree, condemn immigration enforcement tactics that violate constitutional protections, encourage residents who observe any concerning activity to contact the Braintree Police Department and follow the guidance provided by the Attorney General's office relating to immigration and customs enforcement. Oppose any federal immigration enforcement in Braintree conducted without full respect for constitutional rights. Uphold our commitment that Braintree shall remain a community where human rights are protected and where neighbors stand with neighbors, and trust that all residents can live with dignity and without fear. And this is a proclamation of the Braintree Town Council and Mayor Joyce.
Councilor, if you want to elaborate on that?
I
or-
would love to. Okay, thank you so much. So there's a number of reasons why this came about, and I'm sure that we are all aware of what's been on the news, of what we're seeing posted, and we're seeing people really fearing leaving their home or going to places of business where there are rumors, where there are places that are seemed to be unsafe or unwelcoming. In addition to that, there have been a number of incidents where ICE has been spotted in Braintree, and there's also been incidents where I was contacted directly by residents in East Braintree who saw a concerning van with full of people with weapons, and the fact that people are calling me for help when there's very little I can do in the moment was a real concern for me, that people are so afraid that they're afraid to reach out to the very people that are supposed to be protecting them and keeping them safe. So one of the things that I thought would be helpful to do is for us to reaffirm the fact that everyone, particularly our foreign-born friends and neighbors, are welcome here in Braintree and should feel safe here in Braintree and should be able to avail themselves of any and all services that are here without fearing being marginalized or mistreated in some way. That's it. Yes, thanks.
Any questions for any councilors? No? Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve 01326, Braintree resolution on keeping Braintree welcoming and safe for all, or take up any action relative thereto.
Motion to accept the resolution. Is there a second? Second. Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Council Baraka?
Yes.
Council Diuti?
Yes.
Council Flaherty?
Yes.
Council Maglio?
Yes.
Council Moran?
Aye.
Council Quilty?
Yes.
Council Reynolds?
Aye.
Council Ringus?
Aye.
Council Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to new business, is there a motion to move all remaining items under the new business to their respective committees?
Motion to move all items to their respective committees.
Is there a second? Second. Motion's made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Council Baraka?
Yes.
Council Diuti?
Yes.
Council Flaherty?
Yes.
Council Maglio?
Yes.
Council Moran?
Aye.
Council Quilty?
Yes.
Council Reynolds?
Aye.
Council Ringus?
Aye.
Council Sterling?
Aye.
9 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Councilor Ringus, thanks for hanging in there. I know you're not well. You did a great job. Thank you to BCAM for televising. Bill Needham, get well soon. Jerry Comack and Dave Maybrook for their works today. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. I believe it's 7:30 p.m. in this hall. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Council Baraka?
Yes.
Council Diuti?
Yes.
Council Flaherty?
Yes.
Council Maglio?
Yes.
Council Moran?
Aye.
Council Quilty?
Yes.
Council Reynolds?
Aye.
Council Ringus?
Aye.
Council Sterling?
Thank you. We are adjourned.